So I don't know how familiar you guys are with the new GM platform vehicles, but the headlight assembly on this 2015 GMC Yukon runs around $1,400 per side. Needless to say, I was not going to replace this headlight assembly if it could be fixed, so I'm going to show you guys how to put some money back in your pocket and fix it yourself at your home using the tools you have, or maybe something you can grab at the parts store, but I guarantee you it's not going to cost as much as the dealer is going to charge you. You want a few plastic pry tools or a trim piece removal tool. They look like this. They have a bunch of different shapes and sizes. Some of them look like this, where you can open it up, slide it in behind the piece of plastic. Of course, you're going to need a 10mm socket, as you do on every single repair in the entire world these days. So locate your 10mm. You're going to need that. Let's go ahead and get started. You're also going to need somebody who knows how to open your hood, just in case you was wondering. Alright, so under the hood of the Yukon, this also applies to the Chevy Trailblazer. You gotta be kidding me. This applies to the Chevy Tahoe, Chevy Suburban, GMC Yukon, GMC Yukon XL, and I think this also applies to the Cadillac Escalade. So essentially you're looking at the removal of the front bumper cover. You have to remove that upper trim panel piece right there. Now, these little clips up here can be a pain to remove. I have several removal tools. I have found out that two of these guys do an amazing job on removing those clips. Just gotta be careful not to stab yourself in the hand. Look at that. Look at that. Comes right on up out of there. See how fast that was? See that? Guys in there nice and tight so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Take a flathead screwdriver under both sides and then twist back and forth. Pops it right up out of there. I'd say that's probably what they use at GM. They probably don't use their own removal tool. If they do, it's probably made of 2 flat tip screwdrivers. Be a good idea to have you a parts cart handy or something to put your pieces in so you don't lose them. I'm going to be using this. Oh yeah, and if you wondering how the engine bay stays so clean, check out some of my detail videos. I'll put a link at the top of the video screen up here. Alright, with all those clips out of the way, we're going to go ahead and remove this trim piece. Pull up in the back, slide it like so. So pull up in the back, pull it back away from the grill. So we'll go ahead and remove our bolts at the front to get the bumper cover off. One over here and one over there. Alright, you'll need a 10mm socket. If you have an electric impact, they'll make your life a lot simpler. Oh yeah, and there's 4 bolts up here at the top. I may have missed that. Alright, so underneath the vehicle, there's a 10mm here and there. There's also one on the back side here. Same thing over on the other side. And then once you have those removed, there are also some 7mm bolts on the inside of this carpeted wheel liner. You want to remove the upper ones here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that gets this wheel liner off of the bumper cover. There are also 2 more bolts directly underneath there. I missed those when I was doing the video clip because both heads were broken off. So I have to fix those at some point in time. But yes, 2 bolts directly inside the bumper cover where I'm pointing with my fingers there. So there's also one more 7mm bolt at the top of the bumper cover on that side and that side. And all those bolts are a 7mm or in Freedom units, a 9/32 will work. You want to have your accessory or your ignition on so you can turn the wheel, get these out of the way, all that fun stuff. Last but not least, at the bottom, make sure you keep track of these. You definitely don't want one of these in your tire. So now we got those removed on both sides. Gently pull your bumper cover out towards you. It should pop right up off of there. Should. Let's see if it will. You'll probably want to lay you a blanket or something down on the ground so you don't scratch your bumper cover up. That's where those free Harbor Freight moving blankets come in real handy. Before you remove your bumper cover, be sure to unplug this connector up here at the top. It's got your sensors for your parking assist in the front bumper. That's those guys there. So we're going to go ahead and unplug this, get this out of the way. Pull back on the tab, squeeze down, should unplug like that. There's one more, actually there's two more plastic clips down in here. One right there. You have to push down on him, so I can ease him back in there and show you. Yeah, that guy right there. You can push down on that one. There's one over on that side as well. Now with the bumper cover out of the way, we can go ahead and remove the headlight. The 10mm bolt up here, one here, and then of course they'd have to put a bolt behind the bumper cover. And that's this guy right down here. Oh, they tried to get me. There's one more right here. So you definitely got to get that bumper cover off. Or put some holes in your bumper cover, either way. Simple plug right down here. You just squeeze and pull. You can see the gasket is compromised right down here. So I'm going to remove this whole end and try to reseal this thing. Alright, so I cooked the headlight at 200 degrees Fahrenheit for about 10 minutes. And then you can see the lens here. I took my plastic pry tool. I'm sorry I didn't have the video footage, but the light was hot and I was trying to make sure I didn't burn myself. I didn't have time to grab a tripod. Anyway, took a plastic pry tool and then one that's real skinny and really flexible. Started working it underneath the gasket. Worked all the way around the light, and I had to grab a hair dryer to heat up one corner because it started to cool off on me. So I did that and was able to get the lens off. And this one's tricky, I'm not going to lie. It's a big lens, a lot of area. So oven did a good job, had to add a little bit of heat. So now I'll go through, clean up the inside real good, and I'll seal it and put it back on, and then we'll put it back on the vehicle. Seal this thing up now. Traditionally, these usually have a groove that the sealant goes into. Yeah, I don't see a groove. I don't feel a groove. Nothing. So we're going to clean up the lens. I'm going to use some sealant and reattach it to the housing. Alright, got the lens cleaned up. I'm going to put a glove on so I don't get this all over my hand. We know this stuff is good for a few hundred degrees. Go ahead and set the lens on. Now that we got the Permatex on there nice and smooth. Want to make sure you get this right the first time. Hold your breath. Make sure you apply nice even pressure. And as you apply pressure to the housing, you'll see your housing color change. You see right there. As the sealant lays in, get you a nice sharp edge on the inside, and it should look just like the factory light when you're done. Alright, we're going to go ahead and mount this back on the vehicle and let it sit in its orientation of what you would be resting at. That Permatex does pretty good in holding position, so we'll go ahead and do that. Always start your screws by hand. Alright. So that headlight's now sealed and in place. We're going to go ahead and put the bumper cover back on. So the bumper cover is back on. We're going to go ahead and reinstall the 10mm bolts first on that side and this side. Pop the bumper cover in, then we'll get underneath and take care of the bolts on the bottom side and the ones on the inner fender liners. Alright, hood down. So this wraps up the video for the headlight repair on the 2015 GMC Yukon XL. Hope you found this video helpful. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think. We'll see you on the next one.